Okay, so let's continue with our questions with our typical projectile motion, making use of these two equations of motion with constant acceleration and making suitable substitutions to drive our equations. The first equation, not drive, and are my equations. So, but this page, upon my equations, maybe upon a time of flight, upon a time of flight which is equivalent to the time taken with complete. That is like a same circle, maybe. I'm referring to the time of flight, and the time to reach greatest height is equivalent to the half the time of flight, which is equivalent because the half time of flight is binding at top. So this one decline velocity, velocity equivalent this one, is equivalent to u plus 18. So right now you are zero to resolve half velocity at that initial velocity. So you are resolve that initial velocity with the u cos I representing the horizontal velocity and the u sin theta representing the velocity, the vertical velocity, the vertical that component. So now if you are going to use this one R2, now you are now going to substitute this one now you are now going to substitute with u cos theta. Now you are going to put that I, because that I are guided because occupied direction in which that u cos theta is going to act. And the u sin theta j over what plus the u sin theta j. And but the A is now being affected. Now A is being affected by G because acceleration, because that's the one our first assumption. Because we're going to take that our A is negative G. Now we're going to put that negative G multiplied by G multiplied by time. Right now what I saw, when I want if that V is that the same, is equivalent to u cos theta I plus u sin theta j minus G minus gt. Right now you are going to have that two components because that velocity is now acting. You have the velocity which is going to act in horizontal direction and the velocity which is going to act in vertical direction. So right now, if it is going to act, we have the Vx, meaning say the x direction, and the Vy, meaning the vertical direction. So the Vx is equivalent to the G, is equivalent to the u cos theta. Panapa is equivalent to the G u cos theta. Meaning to say u cos theta that u cos theta is representing the vertical the horizontal velocity, the velocity in the G. Axis, in the x axis. So right now, if you are saying that one, if we target that component, that type of velocity actor in vertical velocity, actor in vertically, you are going to say Vy is equivalent to G u sin theta minus gt. Now you are free of removing this I and j, those representing direction, because you don't go double, because we tanga the Vx. Right now, our page right now, the velocity Vx is equivalent to u cos theta, Vy is equivalent to u sin theta minus gt. Right now, you need to drive the time of flight. The time of flight is the time taken to cover for the whole gen in some part, but to cover that same circle. So that Vy is going to use theta minus gt on the top. On the top, because you need to drive the time to reach greatest height. On the top of that one, if you like a arc or a same circle, but not on the top of that one, the vertical component of velocity is equivalent to V using this equation. So you should have this equation, you know, to Vy, that Vy, that component is equivalent to 0. So until 0 is equivalent to u sin theta minus gt. Right now you need to make t the subject of formula. T is equivalent to u sin theta over g. Right now from our first we say that the time of flight is equivalent, the time to reach greatest height. The time of flight is twice the time to reach greatest height. Now to one the time of flight, you need to say 2 u sin theta over g, u sin theta over g multiplied by 2 to get to u sin theta over g. That's the time of flight. Right now we need to deal with the displacement. Now we will deal with the displacement. What you are supposed to do, you are supposed to have that equation of motion here at tolerance value, the s is equivalent to ut plus half gt squared. what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to check my questions that is velocity, because what you need to keep in mind, that u, the big U, is equivalent to u cos theta I plus u sin theta j. So there is no need you're now going to substitute. Won't substitute upon u, that one. And so s is equivalent to u sin theta I over that's s is equivalent to u sin theta I plus u sin theta j multiplied by t. So if it is like this one, minus c minus half gt squared. If it is like this one, you're going to expand that equation. You need to expand that equation, and why expand that type of equation? You are going to substitute. You know expand, because yes, why expand? S is equivalent to ut cos theta I plus ut sin theta j minus half gt squared. Right now, as I say, right now, this one you have vertical component, and this one yeah horizontal component. Divide into 2. You divide into 2, and after we divide into 2, we divide into what s is equivalent to ut cos theta I plus ut sin theta j minus half gt squared. Right now, you need to say that the s represents the displacement, but generally you can s. Maybe sometimes you need to apply into examine the s, but general s ukapiwa data booklet pano s, because x is only represent the displacement. Only x is equivalent to ut cos theta, sy is equivalent to ut sin theta minus half gt squared. So right now there is no need uchiramba unema s nema si. So x is equivalent to ut cos theta, y is equivalent to ut sin theta minus half gt squared. Right now wapedza. So you can chaga right now 1 and 2 equation I representing displacement. Right now, only 2 equation I can uchage the range, which is equivalent to the time, which is equivalent to the range. Yachu inengeka move near that particle, the horizontal displacement. You can uchage, you use this formula. You can uchage the vertical height at a given time. This height. So right now, after from this one, what would drive the trajectory equation? The trajectory equation is mainly used, though it mainly used in mechanics, because it mainly used because doing more applications questions. So the trajectory equation, you need to know that the trajectory equation y is equivalent to the x tan theta minus g sec squared theta all over 2u squared multiplied by x squared. So combine the 2 equations. We will not combine my equation 2. Right now, this one is to drive that trajectory equation. If you are going to drive that trajectory equation, you will to wrap these 2 equations of displacements in x and in y direction. Right now, you need to make t the subject to formula. After making t the subject to formula, you are going to replace to substitute it into the second equation of vertical displacement with respect to time. Right now, if you say I'm going to use y is equivalent to you use x is equivalent to ut cos theta. After making t the subject of the formula, you say t is equivalent to x over u cos theta. Right now, you are going to use that x over u cos theta to represent t on the second equation to do a formula. So right now, this is your value of t. This is the value of t u cos theta. You are going to substitute it into the second equation. Right now, y is equivalent to u all over x u cos theta over psi as it represents time over some brackets multiplied by sin theta minus half g x squared all over u cos theta. Right now, kana so paul unozosvika pastage yekuti dzinenge dzamesa ndikati unosvika pastage yekuti sin theta over cos theta is equivalent to tan theta. Why unenge without you reduce x over x squared u 1 over cos theta is equivalent to sec squared theta. Right now, unongosvika panapa. So y is equivalent to x tan theta minus sec squared theta all over 2u squared all multiplied by x squared. That means the j is the trajectory equation. Yako irrecapable. Ndio unkosa kushandisa pamachi iyo equation yo the trajectory equation. Do trajectory equation yacho e. Maybe not to say akawanda, but application can work is no soro kwanza kuneza. So that now under examination condition there is no need which driver my questions are, but there is a need to show to how umeona say my questions are, but you under examination to time of flight utungu nanga quick question yako to send it over G, but you go from so swap copy. So generally sometimes under examination condition can upon a given time you need to show the 2 cent theta you want to copy, or you need to show that the x tan theta minus g6 squared over 2 squared you want to copy. That's because unokwanisa kuzonotadza kuma answer kuma error wakati ma errors part pa x tan theta minus g6 squared theta all over 2 squared unokwanisa. So pama unokwasa pa max akupakwanisa ku driver that type of equation because kwa kwasa kuenda application yayo. So I see I create